So I wanted to bring this to the village, right? But before I bring this to the village, I want to thank No Gun Zone for advocating for this young man right here. Thomas Sedario, but they call him TJ. No Gun Zone was getting flack about this young man being shot. I hear people say, well, if the kid was black, this would have happened, that would have happened, so on and so forth, man. And I'm just like, yo, what is wrong with us, man? Like, what's wrong with us? Like, we, not only do we hate ourselves, we just hate. Like, it's to the point where if we do hate ourselves, then I have to expect that we're just going to hate on every scenario, right? Every scenario, somebody's going to find something to hate about, or somebody's going to try to find, to look for. It's like you try to be politically correct, and you being politically correct make you a politically correct dummy. It makes you a politically correct dummy. We look for things to be emotional about, and the things that we pick to be emotional on doesn't hold no weight. I don't care if this kid was black, white, beige, orange, red, any ethnic background. I don't care what race. This is a 12-year-old kid. Okay? Not only is this a 12-year-old kid, this 12-year-old kid suffers from major trauma. Major trauma. Because one thing about the government is this: the government don't care what race you are. If you poor, you're poor, right? He comes from the bottom, like most of us, from the bottom. Let's give a history on this young kid that's 12 years old. This kid comes from the Kensington section of Philadelphia. Okay? Before we speak about the character that the media portray, right? Let's speak about where this kid comes from. He comes from the Kensington section of Philadelphia. If you're not from Philadelphia, the Kensington section is the most drug-infested place in America. Facts. I am not making this up. I am not trying to make this bigger than what it is. Wait a minute, sorry. Let me get somebody out of here real quick. I'm not trying to make this up. I'm not trying to make this bigger than what it is. You can Google this. The Kensington section is the most drug-infested place in America, okay? Not only is it the most drug-infested place in America, police officers let people use drugs right there on the street. I was just up there January the 21st of this year, celebrating my 4-year anniversary, my 4-year sober anniversary. The police officers are right there, and the people are actually using drugs right there. Right there. Okay? Not only are they allowing the people that are addicted to drugs to use drugs right in front of the face, they allow people to sell drugs in front of them. This kid, father, is in prison right now. Okay? This kid, father, is in prison right now. So that's one strike. That's the first strike. Number two, This kid mother is addicted to dope. That's 2 strikes. So you have a father that's in prison and a mother that's addicted to dope. Come on, man. Come on. My mother and father was addicted to crack cocaine. So it don't matter the color of this kid's skin. Me and this kid share the same passion right now. His mother's addicted to dope. She probably don't even know what's going on. She probably don't even know what's going on right now. Let that sink in. And you hearing people saying, oh, he had a gun. That was on him. Oh, he's white. It don't fucking matter. So, if you got a father, if you're black, and you got a father that's locked up right now, and you got a mother that's addicted to drugs, you share the same story as him. TJ. Thomas Sedario. Okay? Not only is his father locked up in prison and his mother is addicted to dope, his family is dysfunctional. He has a large family. He has a large family that's dysfunctional. A lot of his family is addicted to drugs. Wait a minute, let me get rid of some people. So now that I got rid of some people, whatever, and I'm going to keep getting rid of people that's talking negative, man. We're talking about a 12-year-old kid that got killed. If this was something else, I'd keep you on there. But when you're disrespecting a 12-year-old kid that was actually killed, you got to be kidding me. Where is the compassion? Where is the empathy? Where's the sympathy? So his mother is on drugs, addicted to dope. She probably don't even know that her child is dead, right? We got to hope that she's alive. Okay? Father is in jail. He has a family full of addicted. A lot of his family members are addicted to drugs and dysfunctional. But the police officers didn't say nothing about that. The news reporters didn't say nothing about that. On top of, from what I am hearing, living in an aggressive environment at 12 years old, you don't know what this kid had to go through. You don't know what people were doing to this 12-year-old kid. I'm hearing this kid was being bullied. I'm hearing this kid had issues with other kids in the streets. Because at 12 years old, I remember fighting all the time at 12 years old. I remember the things that I had to go through on my way to school at 12 years old. Okay? If you come from where I come from, it's a good chance you fought every day going into an aggressive environment at 12 years old. So when people say, oh yeah, he had a gun. He had a gun. This kid got shot in his back. That kid got shot in his back by officers that these officers weren't even in uniform. These officers weren't even in uniform. And this kid got shot in his back. Are you kidding me? So how did this little boy get the gun? Coming from a dysfunctional family, mother is on dope. We don't even know if she's alive. We don't even know if she even know that her son is dead. Father is in prison. Who can he run to? Who was he supposed to run to? Freemasons causing. And let's talk about this gun, for instance. Where did he get the gun from? From my understanding, he got the gun. A kid actually stole the gun from his mother or his father, and he gave the gun to TJ. So the kid that actually stole the gun, he gave the gun to TJ to protect himself. Now, this is not all facts, but this is coming from reliable sources. We have to have some compassion for this kid. This kid was shot in his back. And now sources are saying that he wasn't even the one that was shooting or that took the shot. This could have been your kid. This could have been my kid. This is our kid. You want to know why this makes our kid? Because if you're poor, not a poor mentality, but financially poor, if you don't have what they considered rich money, liquid cash, then you're poor. And it's the poor versus the government. And it's always been that way. This kid is one of ours. He's one of ours. And how dare you go on No Gun Zone and ridicule No Gun Zone, talk down on No Gun Zone, and talk down on this kid. This kid suffered from massive trauma. Trauma. And you know they're going to protect the police officers. You know that they're protecting them. Because guess what? I was one of the ones out there for Walter Wallace. No Gun Zone was one of the ones out there for Walter Wallace. And guess what? If somebody wanted to act stupid and cause a riot, me and No Gun Zone would have felt the wrath of those police officers because it would have been on. See, it ain't about going out there and marching and speaking and doing all these things. And we shall overcome and let's come together. No, all it takes is one person to cause a riot. All it takes is one person to cause a riot. And if you out there protesting and somebody want to cause a riot, those police officers are swinging and they don't care who's in the way. This kid got killed, man. He got shot in his back. And they're keeping everything anonymous until they do more research. This is for us. We got to step up as a village. We got to do something about this. And I'm waiting for his aunt. His aunt's supposed to be getting on because she's going to give us more insight. She's going to give us more insight. And she has no problem telling the truth about her family, about TJ. No, he didn't shoot, eh? They're saying that this could have came from somewhere else. This kid got shot in his back. They tell you, you know, when you carry a firearm, if you are a person that can carry a concealed firearm, they tell you self-defense is not shooting the person in their back. That's what they tell you. The police officers that shot him weren't even in uniform. This kid is walking around going through all types of shit. This kid is going around. This kid 12 years old. 12 years old. This kid he comes from the Kensington section of Philadelphia. Mother on dope. Let's hope that the mother is alive right now. Let's hope that she didn't die from an overdose. She probably don't even know that her kid is dead, man. And the only thing that they can say is, oh, the kid had a gun. The kid had a gun. That's the only thing that they can say is that this kid had a gun. They're not talking about nothing else. They're not talking about the mindset. They're not talking about why this kid had a gun. They're not talking about how the kid got the gun. They're not talking about this kid was being bullied. People were picking on him. They're not talking about that. He didn't shoot at them.
Hey.
How you doing?
Hey, good.
All right, so this is the aunt of the young kid that we were talking about, TJ, Thomas and Dario, right?
Yes.
Okay. And again, I just want to give you my sincere condolences.
Thank you.
Um, give us just give us a family back.
Okay, I just wanted to clear up. He's not from Kensington. He's from South Philly.
Oh, he's from South Philly.
Yes. Well,
Okay.
and I agree with everything you're saying because that drama in Kensington carries over heavy to our area too, just the same. So everything you said does apply.
Okay.
And yes, his mother is a heroin addict, and his father is in prison. But yes, so just speaking from the very start, like on his dad didn't have a full good upbringing too, because coming from the same family, family does have addiction issues. There's not tremendous guidance where there should be. um, so his dad in and out of jail, in trouble also as a child. He's incarcerated at this point now. So he couldn't fully be there for TJ also either. But he was raised by an elderly aunt, who also raised his father. So the aunt passed away a few years ago of cancer. So before that, he already had a mother on drugs. He had a dad in and out of trouble. So not around, then around. He had other family members where there's issues. So there's conflicts at home and things that at that time, like a child up to 8 years old had no understanding of, and, just a situation he shouldn't be in the first place. So he was already dealing with a lot of emotional trauma, mental trauma. He was, and I say this loudly, receiving psychiatric help at that young age. At 8 years old, when his aunt was passing from cancer, she actually came to me and asked me to please save him from the rest of the family. And it was a wish on her deathbed, that I could, bring him in with me and take him away from the drama in the neighborhood. Because at that time, too, at 8 years old, when she was still alive, he was around in the neighborhood with the wrong kids. An elderly, a great aunt at her age, 70s or, whatever she was at the time, couldn't really track down this kid and follow him around and, telling him come home at 8 o'clock and him coming home whenever he wanted to. She wasn't able to actually go track him in the streets to correct him. Correction was done when he was there, but, on her part, and it's not her fault, there's only something an elderly woman can do, and it's not much. So like I said, on her deathbed, she had asked if I could assist with him, after her passing. And, he was with me for a while. He turned around a lot. I had him in good control, staying with a better crowd of kids, following my rules respectfully. Little by little, by visiting away from me, his other parts of his family, it was a different home, a different household. He was coming back to me with the anger, with the disrespectful issues, not listening to me correctly. So it was every time I got this child back, I would have to undo him to follow my rules again. So right there's a conflict in its own, because he's positive in my home, he's unpositive somewhere else. And that was a struggle for me as a parent who also had 5 other kids at the time that I'm raising of my own. But, I do hold myself at fault too. Um, there's a lot of people to fault this family wise, and as positive as I may have been throughout his life, I am also still at fault, and I accept that. Um, but as I said, there's only so much one individual can do.
Right.
And I know when he was with me, I kept him in counseling because now he was also dealing with the aunt's death. So now at 8 years old, this is even more trauma emotionally and mentally. Um, and then being aware that his other parts of his family weren't stable was even more for this little boy to have to take in. He doesn't know who to trust. He doesn't know what to turn to. He just wants friends, no matter if they're good kids in the neighborhood, if they're doing bad things. It don't matter. He needs love. He needs friendships. And that's what he's aiming for, no matter who or what is coming from in these streets. So, with all this in account, not by any means am I saying that if he did do what is being said he did, he is not right at all. But there is many, many, many reasons behind this of why this child was led the path that he was led. And it's the failure of the family, and it's the failure of the parents, and it's the failure of me as an aunt. It's the failure of the city, the environment. We are only products of the environment, and I 100% agree with that. Some of us turn a different way. It's all what's in our cards. But it's many faults here. The city, I fault. DHS system, I fault, because there's plenty of times that I've reached out to them to please help my nephew and to take him, and they fell through on every encounter that I know of. I was told by them plenty of times that they were stepping in and don't worry, we're going to handle it. And obviously they never fully stepped in because the kid was never in their custody. So there's fault to be spread in so many different areas. And like a majority of people understand, he was only a 12-year-old boy. And this, of what I'm just stating, is the minimal of what this child's been through. Going home to see your mother on heroin and she's ODing in front of you, and having to call an older cousin that's pretty much not that much older than you to cry out for help for what he's seeing. An ambulance there reviving his mother in front of his face is nothing that anyone should go through, especially not a little boy. Most adults, and I'm 41 years old, most adults can't handle that. I would never expect a kid to. And there's just so many things, and my family is being bashed. And I'll be the first one to say there's many people from South Philly watching right now. The family does not have a good name, and we do not have a reputation. But there are some of us, as myself and my children, not saying we're perfect, but there's some of us that differ from the name. I am not a drug addict. I am not on the negative. I raise my kids with respect, and they're out there doing their best. Not saying that they're perfect either, but we are cut different than what the name entitles us to be. That has to be understood too by a lot of people that are negatively coming at me. I mean, me as an adult, I'm actually being bashed just because of the name. It's a lot actually just in the neighborhood, but now it's extending throughout the community, throughout the United States. I'm getting bashed on my Facebook page, which is private, by people from Texas, North Carolina, Atlantic City. Like, how they're even getting on my page, I don't even understand. But the discriminating, disgusting things that they're saying, no matter what is the reason or if he was right or wrong, that it's just disgraceful. He's still, at the end of the day, no matter the circumstances, he is a boy. And I'm so glad that people are actually coming forward with their ring cameras, with their voices, and actually speaking out on this child's behalf, because there's so many more children out here, especially in this neighborhood, in this same friend group, and all throughout Philly and wherever else, that come from broken homes, broken families. People need to sit back and think before they bash. How many kids that are out here and we're just labeling as little whatevers in the neighborhood? How many of these kids are coming from homes where they are being raped, where they are seeing drug abuse, where they are abusing drugs, where they are being mentally, physically abused every day and don't speak on it because they're afraid, or they think it's okay, or they don't know how to speak up. There's not the right resources. There's not the right help. They're scared to speak up. There's so many traumatized kids that I know personally that need help, that need counseling. Of course, kids in this age group aren't going to talk to counselors. That's absurd. I get it. But there's a lot of kids affected in many areas. So before the bashing and before people that are so political and so think they're right about everything, they need to sit back and self-observe their life, because it could be your child. No one's child is exempt from anything. My children, like I said, were raised with utmost respect. I don't know what my children do behind my back. I don't know what my children do when they walk out the store. I only put it in God's hands that they're making the right choices on the values that I taught them. I have no idea if they are or not until I get feedback. And then I correct the situation the best possible. But how many other children?
Is this your son on here trying to get on?
His name? What's his name?
Jay Blacks?
Yes, it is.
All right, so you want me to let him in?
That's fine.
Yeah, this is me. I'm your son.
Okay. Yeah, what's good? How you doing?
Good.
My sister is in the family, man.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Like I'm saying, like he's 18, and I've given him everything I can his entire life. I don't know if he makes the right decisions. It's in God's hands. Like, there's only so much you can do as a parent, and these streets lead these children another way. I don't know if what I taught at home is going to make them say no to what's out here. So it's like, we can't judge the parents fully. We can't judge anything. It's the world. And I'm also a strong believer in God, and I follow my faith 100%. And, I'm not preaching, but a lot of this is in God's hands. And no matter how this went down, this was something that was meant to be for this child. No matter, I believe that our story's written, and when we go, and it's part of God's plan. So, I'm a believer in that way too, but I'm also from the streets. So I look at it both ways, and I'm looking at it as a street person. I'm looking at it as a parent. I'm looking at it as a political way. I'm looking at it every angle. So I'm looking at it straightforward from every angle, trying to figure out like what's what. But like I said, there's a lot of fault, and I count myself into the faults, and we need to do better. I mean, I'm not just preaching for my nephew now. It's kind of like for these other kids. How many other kids are in the same situation that need help? There's not enough resources out here, guaranteed for a fact. DHS falls through on a lot of kids. The city falls through. There's, in my South Philly area alone, why do you have a park with no basketball courts? Why they have no nets? Why are the nets taken down? Oh, go make the kids do fun things. What are they doing? To go play with their basketball, and there's no net to throw it in. Like, simple things like that. The community has nothing to offer these children. The other things, sports and stuff, my kids were always with them. I spent thousands and thousands of dollars on my children to keep them away from the streets, to keep them into sports. Parents ain't got it. $100 for your kid to play soccer for 3 months. These parents don't have it. And that's the fault of a lot of things, on a whole different subject. But how do you forward anything?
Let me just say something real quick. I just want to commend you for even getting on here, right? Because it takes a lot of courage to get on here and face the bashing, face the ridiculing. People are looking at everybody and saying who was around, and you're sitting up there and you just stated that you took the responsibility, but you did the best that you do. It wasn't like you weren't anything. It wasn't like you wasn't going out there really taking on the responsibility of another child, knowing that you have your own kids, right? And it is unfortunate. And so I just want to say thank you for doing what you gotta do. It's not easy.
It's not, especially when you're taking on another child that's troubled. It's a whole world.
And I understand that. Now the question is, allegedly, or what's going on? How did he get a gun?
I don't know for a fact. rumors that it was given to him from another child. Like I said, I don't know for sure. That's not anything being said from the police. It's just kind of like neighborhood things being said, that handed down from a child to a child to a child to him. Being from the street, I could see that happen. Being from this neighborhood, I probably most likely agree with that being the way he got it. Yeah, but like I said, it's just hearsay at this point. I have no proof.
Okay. Yeah, because some sources, some anonymous sources, stated that he got the gun from a kid that stole a gun from his parents allegedly.
It's kind of the same story I'm getting.
Okay. So, and was he being bullied or anything like that in the neighborhood?
There were some situations where I know for a fact because I have another child who he would reach out to on multiple occasions saying he was having issues with other kids in the neighborhood. So I know that's true. I don't know if he initiated the issues with the kids or if the kids were attacking him. I don't know if it was always, he was the victim or if he was the troublemaker. So I'm not sure, but he did have some issues with some children.
What's going on? I want to talk to your son. How you doing, man?
What's up, bro? How you feeling? My name's Jay.
Okay, talk. What's your intake on what's going on or what happened?
This is crazy because, like, at a cop, it don't make sense. Like, I can never see him shooting at a cop. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not a bad kid. He's a kid that wanted to survive and protect himself. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of people wanted him. A lot of people didn't want him here. You know what I'm saying? So he had to do everything that was in his mindset, and he knew that the dirty, trash ass people that brought him up, he had to do what he had to do. So that was his first instinct to go to. But man to man, me and you, if a black car, all tinted windows, pulls up on you for the second time in your life and pulls their window down slow, what you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? And it's not nothing to be proud of. It's just you gotta think, kill or be killed. You know what I'm saying? You gonna let somebody take your life so your mom can cry because they want to do something dumb, or you gonna sit there and survive and make sure your mom don't cry, you're going home at night. And the fucked up part was he didn't have a mom to go home to. Like, me and my brother were the people he came to. Like, that was our baby, you know what I'm saying? My mom took him in when he was young, probably 7, 8. Like, we had him for years. And, like, he did what he had to do. He wanted his family back. Like, that's where he was felt more comfortable. So that's where he went. And he destroyed that kid. Like, they destroyed him. And I ain't even about to cry, nothing like that. Like, I'm past it. It's just crazy how you would think I'm older, I would go before him, or everything was normal or something like that. Like, everything was cool, but it's just corny how you would think it would be somebody else, but it was a cop at the end of the day. Like, if they reported and said they pulled up and turned their lights on, but there's 5 cameras that showed that they didn't. You know what I'm saying? It don't make sense. Then when you get out, you see the kid's 4'5". You see it's a little boy. He's turned around to you and said, "No, please don't." You told from his voice, and you still shot him, but not in the front and in the back. He's running from you, and you shoot him in his back. Even if you did shoot him in the front, why did you shoot a kid? Period. Or you? I get it. He had a gun. I get it. He shot at you, but do you know?
The proof that he took the shot.
Yeah.
That's a proof.
Yeah.
It is from I'm in direct contact with the officers in charge. It is now being questioned if he did.
Right.
A shot came first towards the cops, but that is the investigation at this time.
But they weren't in uniform, correct?
No, they were in a black, dark, tinted car. I'm not sure the type of car, with the window like half rolled down. That was said.
And this is the best thing about it. They said when they got out of the car, badges were shown and the uniform of undercover whatever was presented. No, it wasn't. When that cop in the video had his hand holding his eye with glass in it, his other hand pulled his badge out of his jacket. All you seen is a man with a bulletproof vest. And I know me and you both seen, all of us here and everybody on this live seen kids with vests as designer outfits, all black, kids with vests from stores. They sell them at stores. I had one. It's not a real bulletproof vest, but it is a designer vest. So how would you know what it was? And there's kids around here and people around here and everybody and their mom that wear bulletproof vests. Yeah, it's illegal. People do what they want though. Just because you got a vest on and you're wearing all black and you're in an all black tinted car, that is not confirmation that you are a cop. That's not. No badge shown. Come on, bro. We're not stupid. Like, it don't make sense. It don't make sense. And why this? Why shoot one and not both? What sense does that make? You shot one kid when you seen both kids. You shot one kid. You just picked him. You don't know where the shot came from, and you just picked to shoot that one kid. Come on now, don't make sense.
Yeah, so they don't even know which way they don't even know which way the shots came from. They just they can't necessarily say that Team TJ point the gun.
Yeah,
it's just like it was a shot in that area.
Yeah, that's
and
like,
honestly,
that's
how
like,
good of an
like,
aim does a 12-year-old have? I'm 41, and I'm at the range. My shots aren't always on point. He's 12 years old. Probably the first time he let one go. You know, like,
this is what I get.
what was he actually aiming at? You know, was it actually that, or was he aiming somewhere else and it went that way? Like, who knows?
They shoot because they don't know.
Right.
This is what I get. Right. We're all standing there on the corner, right? All three of us. We don't know each other. You're walking your dog, mom. You're sitting there on the corner doing whatever you're doing. I'm on the other side. Little block, across the street from each other. He pulls up. Say I threw the shot. What are they going to turn around? And I start running. What are they going to turn around and do? Shoot you? Shoot you? Shoot your dog? They're not going to know. That's basically what they did. They turned around and seen the first person that they thought it was and threw shots.
That's
basically an endangerment to the environment of cops killing anyone. Come on now.
You said it. You said it and you hit it on the nose. We all chilling on the corner. One of us could have threw a shot.
Could have been anybody.
And the first thing that the cop do was come out, and it was only one shot, correct? It wasn't like multiple shots.
Yeah, it was one shot.
One shot. So if nobody got hit, you mean to tell me what are you trained to do if you hear a shot? Did the car get hit? Did the car get hit?
Yeah, it went through the window, through the back window to the front driver headrest, and then go through.
Right. So here we go. When we get out, now you telling me from where it sounds like you out and you see some people in that direction of the of where the shots came, and you just got out and just shot. Now, how many times did the police officer?
4
times.
There was 4 shots.
4 times.
Yeah,
I watched multiple videos and I heard the 4 shots off of people's ring cameras.
Like that sound like that's something people would do when they see ops.
Right. And I feel like the cop felt, you don't know the mentality of these officers. They're humans. So, I got shot at. Oh, that's it now. You know what I mean? Like, because that's how I would feel as an individual. Cop might feel the same way. No matter your badge, you're still a human.
And he said it right there best.
So you don't know the mentality of them officers getting out of that truck.
Right.
Overkill. You see that? Overkill.
Yeah, that was
4 shots at a kid. Plus, it don't even matter. I'm a grown man. I'm 18 years old. 4 shots at me, 4 shots at you, 4 shots at her. 4 shots for what? 4 shots for what? 4 shots to a person that you didn't know who shot at you? Come on. Now, it could have been somebody coming out of their house to kill TJ. You know what I'm saying? Somebody could have came down their steps, shot at TJ, and it could have hit the cop car. Or whatever car it was, undercover cop car. And it couldn't even have been TJ. It could have been someone else shooting at him to hit him and went to the cop car. See what I'm saying? They don't know. They just threw shots.
Some people are asking, right? This is why I wanted to give the history. People are asking, what do you have a gun for? With the aunt of TJ raised TJ, give life. Product of his situation. In the streets, not every if he was causing, what does that have to do with a police officer killing him?
Yeah.
Just describe how police officer took the shot.
And you want to know what's crazy? Why is there cops in a white neighborhood? All white, normal, old lady neighborhood where a park with kids that play, that are 12, 13 years old kids. Why are you circling looking for someone? You just happen to pull up and stop there on purpose? You just happen, that's what's that called? That's fine. That you're basically following him. What are you following him for? He's 12 years old.
Somebody get another kid. Again, another kid allegedly stole a gun from their parents' house and gave TJ the gun.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what's being said. I just want to comment back on something someone said. Thank you for the person that said I'm reasonable. I appreciate that. Also, yes, he was in school, and the person who was just saying he shouldn't have still had the gun, yes, I 100% agree with you. He should have never had one. But with that being said, that's what we're trying to get to, like how and why would a 12-year-old have a gun? Like, you know, he couldn't go get it on his own. So it was like the influences of the friends, of the environment, of older kids possibly passing it on and letting him think like, okay, yeah, you a little thug boy in the street, because that's what he thought he was at this time.
Wait. TJ should not have took the gun. I'm not going to be disrespectful
because
that's not the right thing to do. No, but listen, you don't know his story.
I'm going to clear it up.
You don't know his story?
He shouldn't have took the gun. He should have chose right over wrong. You're exactly right. And I agree with that 100%. But this is a child who has a dad in jail. So a little bit to his mentality. I have another nephew that was murdered it's going to be 5 years now. His father was at that scene. The father's best friend, Quan from 7th Street, and my nephew, Joey Siderio, if any of you know the situation. So my nephew, Joey, was killed outside of a nightclub that they were all at for no reason at all by a security guard at this club. Some people may disagree with that, but that is what happened. The boy Quan went home that night and took his own life because my nephew died in his arms. My other nephew, who is TJ's father, is in jail now for that. They arrested him for attempted murders, which is 100% true because he did fire back in protection of himself and his friends. But as he was in jail, he was charged with my other nephew, who was his cousin's murder, which was ridiculous. Beat the charge at trial. But now, bringing it back to TJ, here's this kid at home that lost his big cousin that he thought was an uncle to him. His dad's best friend that he called an uncle. He lost both of them on the same night. In the same moment, he lost his father again. Now, this kid is in the mindset, drugs, money, greed, streets, guns, his dad's situation, his cousin's situation. This is all going around this kid's head, and he's trying to grasp this all. So now, product of your environment, your street, your hood. Meanwhile, you're 12, little boy. You're not street, you're not hood, which I preach to him all the time. But how can we say that this child was wrong given the outlook on life that he was given? He didn't know any better. Yes, he was taught better, but the negativity is so strong of what he is witnessing that he's going the wrong route because of the shit that's being handed to him. So with that situation alone, combined with the situation that he already came from, this kid's mind is wrecked. So of course he ain't out here making no right choices. And I'll be the first one to say, yes, he did initiate stuff with children. Yes, he was bullied for situations he didn't initiate. Yes, he was at the wrong place at the wrong times, definitely doing the wrong shit, staying out, going home when he wanted to. A baby. He was a baby, thinking he was a grown-ass man, and he was wrong. Told multiple times he was wrong. But his mindset, he was right. He was right because of the stuff that was handed to him.
Let me say something real quick. For those who are the best parents and the perfect parents in the universe, it's just so perfect. A lot of kids grow up and be rebellious and start doing what they want to do. No matter if perfect parents, worst parent. You got worst parents with great that didn't take the role that they could have took and being a product of the street.
Yeah.
Parents that gave their kids everything, did everything that they were supposed to do. I'm talking about follow all the rules, which is no rules on being a parent because there's no manual on how to be a parent, and the child still decided to be rebellious and do whatever that they want. I don't know if y'all from everybody that want to be politically correct. I don't know if you're from the hood or not. But what I do, one thing about the hood, when you're growing up in the hood and you could be the or be getting bullied, all right? It could go back and forth. I told y'all, in 12 years, I fought a lot in junior high school. In junior high school, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, I fought a lot. It was one time that I brought a knife to school, and I said, anybody fuck with me, I'm going to kill him. I put it in his head because I didn't want to get rolled on. I didn't want to get jumped. Okay? If somebody would have gave me a gun, I would have took that fucking gun, and I would have walked to school with it. Now, again, this is not taking up for they is saying, oh, yeah, he was the innocent one. No, what I'm saying is you become a product of your fucking situation. You start thinking, yo, listen, it's either killed or be killed. It's either get picked on or I'm going to be the one being picked on. I'm not going for it no more.
And like you're saying on a parenting thing, you could be the perfect parent. And these kids can go another way for other reasons outside of whom. He could have came from a perfect home and still chose the way he chose. Like you're saying, product of your environment. And in my own personal situation, my kids, my husband, my children's father, are in jail for murder. And my kids aren't perfect. I am the best parent I can be. I'm not perfect. I'm from these streets. I've had many of my friends in these streets killed, murdered for no reason, die of overdoses. You know, I'm not an addict myself, never was, but I was in these streets heavy. I chose myself, no matter the goodness of the home I came from. I chose what situations to be involved in, good and bad, and I chose what to get into and what not to because of my intelligence. I strayed away from drugs because my family had drug issues. That wasn't my route. I was against it. Some people in my family my age went a different route because of whatever reasons, following in the family. But, you know, like just parent-wise, you can install the best in these kids. You don't know what happens in these streets. And I'm a street person, and I'm saying I've seen
Let me tell you
in my life, and
I
totally get it.
I don't mean to cut you.
No.
When they stop blaming the police, listen, the police have protocol. The police is supposed to be, it's supposed to be damage control. When you hear, okay, if a shot comes my way, the direction from the first thing that the police is not the police is not supposed to, oh, the shot came from that way. I see somebody over there. Let me just point my gun and shoot at the direction where the shot came from.
Yep.
Come on.
They're and from my personal experience with the South Philadelphia districts, they ain't shit. These cops ain't shit. Some of them, I applaud, they do their job. But
we don't know.
I've had many incidents where even for like one of my kids being robbed, where they didn't fall through with their job. They're scared.
Wait, we don't know. We don't know if this kid shot at the cops at all.
Right.
This is all allegedly. It's no hardcore facts right now.
Right.
Even if the kid shot at the cop one time, they still not supposed to just get out and shoot until you know for a fact that these shots is coming this way and now you're going back and forth.
In my opinion, should have shot him in his leg. You take somebody down. You don't aim to kill unless you're in a direct threat. Now, if you would have took him out, just my opinion, you would have took his leg out, dropped him, If that child was still on the ground blasting at you, then I guess do what you got to do.
You gotta think of it like this.
But
Nah,
you didn't even attempt to make it a different situation. And just to clear up the thing, it wasn't a shot to the back. The coroner's office, due to the autopsy, personally told me that the shot went in chest and came out the chest.
Yeah.
So and I specifically asked if there was anything describing the back, and they told me no from the medical examiner that I spoke with.
Yeah, they'll tell you that for sure.
Yeah.
Listen,
yeah, I don't know how on the up and up they are, but that was
it's not like you get shot
from them.
with a 380 or a 9 or a 25. You're getting shot with a 40. You're getting shot with a hollow. You're getting shot with something that explodes in your body. To a kid twice, not once, but twice, in his chest. Like, what? Listen, they shouldn't even be able to carry guns that big. That's an ARP right there. That's a mini assault rifle bullet.
They undercover? Were they undercover cops, or were they just
I believe
They
so.
were undercover.
So what I'm being told, again, hearsay, is that according to some Instagram post prior to this event, that there was questionable that these kids were going to get into trouble with the guns. There were some Instagram posts showing the guns that led them to do the stakeout. So it was first said that they were on a stakeout for something else. Kind of came out after that they were actually going to watch these children, because supposedly on some Instagram posts from another child, it was said that they were going to 18th Street. So these cops were, as we're finding out, there in intent to watch them. So they kind of already had a different mindset, if you want to look at it that way, my opinion, of what they were walking into.
I wanna first say, I just want to thank y'all for coming on, because the courage coming on here and talking about what, because people are going to ridicule you.
Oh yes.
They're going to say that you were wrong. We don't care if you had to raise your own children that you birthed. You should have did better. You did as much as you could possibly do, dealing with a child with mental health issues, trauma, mother's not around, father not around, whole family is dysfunctional. You did what you were supposed to do. So I just want to say thank you for that. I want to say thank you for coming on here and telling us, taking accountability, because you showed that to the people. For those who don't know, yes, Auntie took accountability. Although she did what she was supposed to do, she still took accountability and said she could have did better, right?
Yep.
And on top of speaking on, this is not just a white community thing. This is not just a black community thing. No. This is more of a minority poor thing versus police officers and government thing, okay? Yes, this kid should not have had a gun. Yes, this kid should not have had a gun, but we would never know what this kid is going through. We don't know, because you may not have came from where this kid came from. You don't know what this kid was going through. Do you know what it feels like to be bullied? And if you know what it feels like to be bullied, then you would know, damn, you know what? I'm going to do what I got to do to get out of it. On top of, we don't know if he was doing the bullying and he had to protect himself because he was doing bullying. It don't make it right. It don't make it right. But at the end of the day, when you come from the hood, when you were raised in the hood, when you come from aggressive environments, you got to do what you got to do until you get.
Every day.
Every day. You got to fight every single day until you get out of it. So all this, oh yeah, this 12-year-old, how did he get a gun? Yeah, allegedly somebody passed him off a gun. Because it's obvious he ain't had no money to get a gun.
Right.
It's obvious he ain't had no money to get a gun. So I just want to say thank you. And shout out to No Gun Zone.
Yes, yes, so, awesome page.
No Gun Zone, we would not understand the level of this if it wasn't for No Gun Zone. Because the media does one thing, but No Gun Zone was bringing different types of facts to the village. So I just want to have my support You have no gun zone support, and we're here with you with it all, and we're gonna fight with you, and we're gonna do as much as we can.
Thank you. And I'd just like to say to anybody that is in support of this, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Because I have 5 children of my own that are mourning. I have nieces and nephews that are mourning. These kids, my house is filled with children every day. So I'm within the kid zone at all times. These kids are hurt. They're mourning. They're in pain. Not just the family, but the outsiders. This whole community of children is in pain. And that's what matters right now. Consoling these kids. And the media and negativity is not helping. So every one of you that are supporting this and looking at it from a great mind frame, I love you so much. And I thank you so much. Like, we need more of that. Like I said, I'm just one mom. Like, there's so many other mothers going through this, and I see this pain that it's causing my own family, but it's more than just my family. It's children all over now. And whatever we can do to shed some light of positivity on this, I thank every one of you, every one of my friends that are reaching out, everybody that I don't even know on Facebook posts that are in support of getting down to the truth of this and supporting the background of these kids that come from troubled families. Thank you so, so much. So much. It's beyond words how much I appreciate your love and your respect and your realness, because we all know that are from here. This city ain't shit. And we're all still as adults struggling every day, the same fight that these kids are unfortunately fighting to survive. And I'm saying that as a grown ass woman. And again, I just thank everything. Gun Zone, thank you so much for bringing the positivity and bringing me to where I am today with McFly. I love you guys over there for that too. And thank you for contacting me today, because I've been waiting for the opportunity to speak on this. And I so appreciate you.
We care for you, their condolences, and we will keep in touch, because we're gonna fight this battle with you.
Yes, thank you again. Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.